Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are new around here, welcome. My name is Jenny and this is our Houston Smith home. In today's video, we're gonna do a little bit more Christmas decorating. We're gonna be working here in the kitchen. I've already gotten a few things out here and there, but I'm going to get out all of my Christmas decor in here and we're gonna put out a little bit in the kitchen. Now, if you've been around here very long, you know I don't like a lot of stuff on my kitchen counters. Don't like a lot of clutter, so I just like to add in a few little seasonal pieces. So we'll be doing that. Gonna do a little bit here in the dining room. I'm gonna decorate that tree, and I've got a hutch over there. You can't see that, but my grandmother's hutch. I always like to add in a few little seasonal pieces to it. I hope you'll enjoy the video. I'm not exactly sure when you're gonna be watching this. I'm trying to film all of these and get them up by Thanksgiving or at least early December. That way it will give you a little bit of motivation. I know a lot of you don't decorate until after Thanksgiving, so I'm hoping I can get these out early enough to where it will help you out a little bit. Then in December, I'm thinking about just doing more like gift ideas and maybe some recipes and things like that. Y'all let me know what you think, because I normally just do like shop with me and decorate with me, those type of videos, but I'm thinking of swapping it up a little bit in December and doing some like gift ideas and stuff like that. So y'all let me know what you think about that. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm gonna make a quick cup of coffee. You do the same and we'll get started. Oh, before I forget, I'm about to like do a little tidy up in here before we get started, but I wanted to show y'all my sweatshirt. I got this at Target. It is so soft and cozy. I just thought that was so cute for the holidays and just nice and comfy. Y'all know that's my style, so I wanted to share this. I will link it for you down in the description box. So here is kind of what we're working with so far. I've already got a little tree up here. Nothing much really. I need to just do a quick little cleanup in here, and then I will get down my Christmas stuff. Now, I store almost all of my Christmas stuff that has to do with the kitchen or dining up there in those cabinets. They're nice and deep and they hold a lot, but there's so much stuff up there. So I got to get up there and see what I can get down, and then we'll put out a few touches here. Then we'll move over to the dining room. Okay, so I just got up there and got everything down from my cabinet, and I just put it all out here on my bar. That way I could decide what I wanted to use. Oops, I meant to put this up. That's actually a fall decor, but I have a few new pieces over here y'all have seen. I always like to pick up some of the new Hearth and Hand towels, but I also have some old pieces too. These are just from previous years. I got a table runner there, a couple of different little greenery little trees. Those are great for kitchens and bathrooms. This little guy I got at a yard sale years ago. I love to put him, his little nightlight, I love to put him in the kitchen. I got this at the thrift store, I believe, and I thrifted most of these Santa mugs, I think. Also thrifted these little salt and pepper shakers, and last year I intended to rub and buff them, but I ended up leaving them silver, so we'll see this year what I think about that. I got this little gingerbread man and woman and a dirty Santa gift, and I think it's so cute. I've had it for years and years. I usually always put it out. Just a few little festive pieces for the kitchen, a sign there. I got this at the thrift store, and I just added a red bow to it. Last year I was thinking though I might layer it this year, take that little sticker off. Got a vintage cookbook I'm gonna put out. This was new this year from Hearth and Hand. This is new this year. I'm gonna put my K-cups in this, and I got it at the Target dollar spot, $5. I usually hang this above my stove, and it is Hearth and Hand. I was thinking about this year, maybe putting these little bells and maybe a red bow or something. I don't know, we'll play around with that. So let's go ahead and get all this put out. If you follow me very long, you know this little corner of my kitchen is always dedicated to my coffee area, the little coffee corner. So here's what we're kind of working with right now. I picked up those little disposable cups at the Target dollar spot. I thought those would be fun. Maybe the boys could make some hot chocolate or make some coffee on the go or something like that. So I'll pretty much keep this setup similar here, except I'll trade this out for sure because this is a little wooden pumpkin that I used for fall. I'm going to leave the lamp. I may leave this, or I may find something a little more Christmassy, but I like to keep those stirring spoons out there. I'll probably use that little riser, and I probably will take that down, put up something a little more Christmassy there, but overall I'll just keep it pretty plain and simple here in this corner. So let's just get everything wiped down. I like to do that in between seasons, wipe everything down good, and then we'll just start by putting everything back up. I love, love, love this lamp. I don't know if it's still available. Anything I can, I will link down in the description box. Like I showed you, a lot of the stuff I have is either like thrifted or it's older. But I did get this lamp this year. But look how long the cord is, y'all. And you know how some of these lamps, you can just stuff the cord back up into the lamp base? Well, this one has the switch right there at the top, so you can't put the whole cord in there. So I just had to kind of hide it. I just hid it the best I could and left the little switch out in the corner there, so I could easily turn it off and on. And it ended up fine. I was able to hide it easily behind that riser. But keep that in mind with this little lamp. Now, they did have it in a green and a black as well. The green would be so pretty for Christmas. And womp womp moment here with my little house. I didn't realize it really will not hold much at all. Like, I stuffed everything in there and I realized, but it is airtight. So if you wanted to actually store some kind of food or something in there, it is airtight, so that's good, but it will not hold very many of my K-cups. So my idea of storing those in there kind of went down the drain. I think I could fit 3, but it's still very pretty and I'm still going to use it. Have these little stirring spoons I got from Amazon. I only have 4 of those, but I'm still just going to pair them with all of my other ones. These are Hearth and Hand, and these I got from Amazon. I actually got those for Valentine's Day, but I've ended up leaving them out for like every season since then, and I'm just going to mix the gold ones in there as well. And then I decided I wanted something a little more Christmassy for those stirring spoons. So I just did one of my Santa mugs. Like I said, I got those from the thrift store. And then I wanted to put something a little bit, I always keep a hook up there. And so I wanted to put something a little bit Christmassy. So you're just going to see me playing around a little bit here with that. Now, it is my philosophy, if something doesn't look Christmassy enough for you, just tie a red ribbon on it, tie a red bow on it, and you're going to be good to go. So that's exactly what I'm going to do in here. Just tied a red bow, a red velvet ribbon around that lamp, and it just instantly looked like Christmas. Going to add in my Santa mug to get a little bit more red in here. Now, I'm a very classic Christmas girl. I love those bright reds, those true reds. And then naturally, I'm going to add a little bit of greenery here. This little tree came from the Target dollar spot a few years ago, but you just pop some batteries in there. It's got the lights on it, and it is just super cute, and I think it just adds the perfect touch to the other side of the coffee maker. So what I ended up doing on the side of the wall there was just a cheap pot holder and then a cheap little mini wreath that came from the Target dollar spot, and I think that worked just right. And here you can see that bow a little bit more up close, and then here is a look with the lamp on, which is just such a cozy vibe. Somebody commented wanting to know if it made the cabinet hot above it. It has never felt hot at all, but I do not leave it on overnight, so just to be safe there. But it's never felt hot since somebody asked me that. I went ahead and started filling of it after it had been on a while, and it's been fine for me. We'll move on down the counter here, and And also going to work a little bit on the stove. Usually I like to put maybe like a candle out on the stove top. And then I always like to put out some towels here on my stove, just on the handle there. I got a couple of new ones. Every season I always buy the Hearth and Hand flour sack towels. They are so huge. Look how big they are. Super nice quality. They have always been $3.99. This year they went up to $4.99. I still feel like that's a really good price for what you're getting. These also would make super nice gift ideas. Like if you wanted to get somebody a gift card or something, but you wanted them to have just a little something also to go along with it, these are just super nice. And they come already rolled up. You could just stick a gift card in there and put a nice ribbon on it and you are good to go. I like to layer them up. Now I do need to iron or steam these. Sometimes I'll just throw them in the dryer and try to get some of the wrinkles out. So you'll see that they do need ironed or whatever. But I think they're super cute and I like to layer them like this and just put 2 different ones on there. And I think that just adds the perfect little touch to your stove. I have this really pretty Merry and Bright sign. It is Hearth and Hand. Got it several years ago, and I used to put it right here above my stove, and I just did it with like the command strips because I have the tile up there. So I don't know if it was because that tile is like super shiny and kind of slick, but it never would stay. It would always fall. We would hear it like in the middle of the night crash behind the stove. And so I don't know if I'm going to try to put it back up there. My husband said he would try if I wanted to, but a little undecided on that. But that sign is so pretty, but definitely I'm going to put out a little Christmas candle here. That one is one of those Better Homes and Gardens, and they're only $5. And that's one of like the tree scents. I'll have to look and see exactly what it's called, but it smells good. And I'm not big on like the tree scents. You know what I'm talking about? Like the Christmas tree scents, like fir and all that. Not super big on that, but this one smells really nice. So I just found a little small saucer to put under it, and I'm just going to light that candle. I love to let candles burn on my stovetop. I feel more comfortable with them burning there, and so I usually keep one on my stove. And then that little spoon rest, I think that may have came from TJ Maxx. I've had that for a few years, so just set it out there, and it will obviously be used, but just adds a little bit of Christmas touch to the stove as well. I always like to put a small wreath on these cabinets above the stove, above the microwave there. And I've used the same one for the last few years. And as a matter of fact, we still have the little clear command hooks up there. So super easy for me just to hang it up there. But this year I did decide to put some of those Hobby Lobby bells. And I decided to do a red ribbon. Like I said, just to add you a red ribbon instantly. It looks a little bit more festive to me. But I do love those true classic reds. So I really like the way that looks, and I'm not opening that cabinet very often, but it easily will just, come off those hooks if you needed to get in there, but I don't really store anything in there. So I really, really like the look of this one. Now let's go ahead and work on the right side of the stove here. It's just where I have like my utensils and salt and pepper and just all of that kind of stuff. Now you'll notice in my decor from season to season that I typically use the same setup, and then I just swap out a few more seasonal pieces. So that's what you're going to see me do here. Just going to give it a quick wipe down. Now I love the Mrs. Meyer's seasonal scents, and peppermint is one of my all-time favorites. I love it, and so I had to get some. I always get it in the dish soap and the hand soap and the spray, and so I'm just going to wipe everything down really good here. Still going to use this same little utensil holder. I got this one in the mountains at a little pottery place in the Smoky Mountains, and I got it last year. I love it. And guess what I'm going to add? Y'all know already, I'm going to add a red ribbon. Now that ribbon I got at Walmart last year. I didn't see it when I went to try to link it. I'm going to look again and see if I can find it, because it's a really good deal. And you see, I'm just making bows everywhere, and I still haven't ran through that whole row yet. I've been actually wanting to get some new wooden utensils, and I did find some at Walmart since I made the video, so I don't really have those silicone ones up there. I just have wooden ones, and then I added in a few of just these little silicone red and green like festive ones, and so I think that just looks really pretty. These boards, y'all, are Pioneer Woman. You can see one side's just flat. That's the side I'm going to display, and the other side is like if you're actually using it as a cutting board. But that little 3-pack of scallop boards, I'm going going to see if I can catch it back in stock because that would be a super nice gift idea. And then I have a few other little wooden boards. I think that big one came from the thrift store. That little small skinny one came from the Dollar General, y'all. I got it last year at Dollar General. It's solid wood and it is so cute. It looks like moose antlers on it or reindeer. I don't know. I guess reindeer if it's seasonal, but super, super cute. I have this little butter keeper. I do not use it for butter, as you can see. I tried using it for butter, y'all, and I feel like no more than we used, it would start getting kind of moldy, and it really grossed me out, and I was scared of it. But I think it's really pretty. So I'm still going to use it there on display. And my little salt and pepper shakers, the silver set, I did get that at the thrift store as well. And I think I'm going to leave them silver. I'm really more of a gold tone person, but I think I like the silver along with my stainless steel appliances and stuff like that. So here's what it's looking like so far. Now let's get over to the mess over here in this corner. I have this Ninja Creamy and we used it all summer. Like the boys loved using it in the summer, but it's too tall to fit up under my cabinet there. And so it's just in the way, honestly. And so then as you see that I've been decorating, I've been stuffing everything over here in this corner. So I'm now to the point that I have to clean out this corner and the sink and all of that. I do have those new seasonal scents I was telling you about that I need to swap out. And I want to put out a little bit more there. I have a Christmas recipe book I'm going to put out there. And so let's go ahead and just get this whole little area cleaned up and we'll put a few things out in that corner. And I was thinking about up above the window there, maybe putting that sign that I just showed you, the Merry and Bright sign. Here is a super easy way to add a little bit of holiday touch in your kitchen is a little nightlight like this. I got this one at a garage sale and I love him. I put him out every year and anybody that comes to my house always comments on it. If you ever wonder what that little blue light is there, you'll always see it in my kitchen. I use these year round. It's called Zevo. It's a little flying insect trap because we have gnats here. Terrible. I'm embarrassed to show y'all how bad that is, but we have them terrible. And I leave this up year round and it gets that full. I have to empty it so often, but I just leave them plugged up, especially over here near my sink because that's when they're the worst. But I wanted to make mention, those are on sale at Target right now. I'll link them down in the description box. But if you want to see more about them, I have like a whole video over on my Instagram, like showing them and telling them about them a little bit more. But I know y'all see those in my videos and you probably wonder, what is that blue light? So that's what it is. I'm going to go ahead now and add in my recipe books. That was just some of my Magnolia table books, which I love that one is green and one is white. And then I'm going to do that vintage cookbook, the red one, and that just is the perfect touch. I added in my Mrs. Myers there beside the sink on that little wooden, that's a threshold little wooden board there. It came from Target, and I just think that's all we need here. I don't think we need anything else to clutter up these counters. One more thing I did forget about, I won this in a game of Dirty Santa. It came with that and a recipe book one year, and I've set it out here in my kitchen every year since because I just think it's so cute. Doesn't take up any room or anything really, so I thought I'd just put it right there beside the paper towels. So now I just have a few things here on the bar I need to pick up. I do have that little 2-foot tree. That's the My Texas House 2-foot tree from Walmart. I'm going to leave it sitting right there. And then it made me think over here beside the couch, I'm going to put out a more Christmassy tree. Now, this is the A Floral Norfolk Pine. It just comes in this black plastic pot, but I got to thinking that it would probably go beautifully here in this pot where I keep this not My Texas House. This one is Hearth and Hand. I normally just keep this Hearth and Hand little green tree. It comes in a pretty pot itself, but I've been using it in this little wicker basket. It's Hearth and Hand as well, but it was back from like in the spring. But this was the smaller one, and I got to thinking that Norfolk pine tree would be really pretty in that scalloped basket. So I'm going to see if it will fit. Y'all know, in true our Houston Smith Home fashion, there's that price tag on there. That was probably back when they still put the prices on the price tags. But anyway, we're just going to try that out, and I'm going to try to put this little Norfolk pine tree in there and see what that looks like, just to add a little bit of greenery there beside the couch. And it's just all open to my kitchen. I have a very open floor plan, so I just like to tie everything in together. Now I'm happy with the kitchen, so I'm just going to go ahead and move here into the dining room. Like I said, it's just a very open floor plan, so the dining room, living room, kitchen is all open to each other. I already had the tree up here, and I need to take this sign down, or not sign, but this picture here down. You can see it's not centered anymore because I had to move my hutch down a little bit. Gonna do something different there on the dining room centerpiece. And y'all, I know this garbage can's ugly. I know it is. Some people like to tell me that. I usually will sit it into the laundry room, which is just right around the corner there. But I mean, sometimes it's just handy to have the garbage can right there, you know? So a lot of times my garbage can is there, but I do need a prettier one. I do realize that, but please don't get offended by my garbage can because, you know, it's just handy, okay? But for now, we're going to clean off this hutch and get rid of some of this fall decor that's on it and add in just a few little seasonal touches here. In case you're new to my channel, this hutch did belong to my grandmother, and I got it when she passed away, and I painted it. And a lot of the pieces that you see on it that I leave on it year round also belong to her, like those white dishes. Some of those little wooden pieces were hers. And anyway, I leave that stuff on there year round, and then each season I just add in a few different little touches. This doily also belonged to my grandmother, and I almost always use it as the centerpiece here on my table. I get questions about it all the time. People want to know where it came from. Now, I don't know if she made this one. I have several smaller ones. Some of those she made. I'm not certain if she made that one, but this one was hers, so it is truly vintage. This year, I'm going to add this little centerpiece. It came from Hearth and Hand at Target, and it is beautiful, and I was really surprised at the price on it. It was $30, but it's very big, nice full greenery, and it has the 3 kind of brass looking candle holders. And then I decided I'm going to use these candles. Now I may end up getting some red ones. I wanted some red ones. These are Hearth and Hand from fall. I ended up never getting them out in the fall and using them, and so they're just battery operated. They just use AAA batteries, and they have a remote control, and so I have been super impressed with these. I'm doing this voiceover a little while after I filmed, and these have been great. I'm using 3 here on my table, and I'm actually using 2 in some sconces on my wall. Turn them off with that remote off and on with it, and the batteries have actually lasted quite a while, and they are just so pretty. They have like a little subtle flicker to them. It may not be picking up that great on video, but they have a little bit of a flicker to them, so they actually look like a candle burning. Now I'm just going to put a few things out over here on the hutch. I like to do a seasonal towel. I think that one came maybe from Hearth and Hand last year. I like that it has a little bit of red and green on it. And then I just tied, of course, a red bow on this board. I think I was going to use that one in the kitchen, but it ended up not. And so I decided I'm going to put it up over here on the hutch to add a little bit of height on the top there. Just going to add in this little plate. It came from Target Dollar Spot a few years ago. And then I'm just going to play around a little bit with some small greenery. And then, like I said, the items that I always leave on there. Usually I always leave this. Now, it's not vintage. It came from Walmart, but it is a super nice little wooden dough bowl. I'm going to play around with adding some of these ornaments. These are some red flocked ornaments that came from Walmart as well. So you'll just see me. I'm just going to play around with this, adding in some bells, some ornaments, different things there, and we'll see what we end up with. I got this little rolling pin from Target a couple years ago. I like that it's red and white striped. I pair it with my actual like vintage rolling pin I got at the thrift store. And I think it just looks cute because it adds that little pop of red in there. I got this little bowl from the thrift store and this Santa mug. So I'm just going to pop them up there. I love that red and white striped bowl. And I think that just adds in a nice little touch of red. I do have a few of my grandmother's vintage jars like this one. I love that one like that has the handle. So I was trying to think what I could put in there. I decided to put these little battery powered lights. I'm not sure it looks great because you could see the battery box in the bottom, but I'm just going to leave it for now and we'll see. Now, I was looking for a little bit more red to put in the table centerpiece. I had these stems, from years ago, like before I had my kids, and we had a cat and he would chew on those little berries. And so some of them look kind of bad, but I figured I could cut off the ones that look bad and maybe just use some of the sprigs to put a little bit of red throughout. And even if I want to see what it looks like, if I want to buy some new stems, at least I'll get an idea if I like the look. But I just cut those bad ones off and it actually ended up fine. And I really like that pop of red. So I may end up leaving these candles. I'm having a hard time finding true red battery powered candles. The ones I'm finding are like the deep red or burgundy that you're seeing in style this year. And y'all know I just really love that classic red. I had intended on getting the Christmas tree decorated for y'all in this video as well, but I did not get to that. And as a matter of fact, I still do not have that Christmas tree decorated. Now, this one I used to put all of my ornaments, like sentimental ornaments and things my kids have made at school and just little stuff they've made throughout the years. So that's what will be on this tree. And I don't really put anything else. I did buy one pack of just some flocked ball ornaments in different colors like red and blue and green. And I thought I might put those on there, but otherwise I don't really decorate it in any particular style. And so hopefully in the Christmas home tour video, you'll get to see that one actually fully decorated. I'm still just playing around a little bit here on this hutch, and I will continue to do this for like weeks. Every time I walk by, I'll probably move something around. I don't know if y'all are like that. Let me know down in the comments. I got a new rug to put down here at the back door, and I love this. It is so, so pretty. It's Better Homes and Gardens. Got it at Walmart, super inexpensive. Now, the back does feel like it has some grip to it, so I'm hoping that it will work okay here. I just had a little rug, a scalloped jute rug from Amazon there, and I have to buy those rug grippers for it, so I may have to buy some for this one. We'll see how well. Actually, I've been using it for a couple of weeks now since I filmed this video, and so far, so good. It does get moved a little bit if the boys are kind of going in and out that door a lot, but just for the most part, especially initially, it had a pretty good bit of grip, especially if it's going to be at a door that you don't use that often. I will link the little rug grippers that I like to use down in the description box. I get them at Amazon and they're like $8 and they work so, so well. So that's usually what I have to do here. I'll see if I end up having to buy some, but I love this rug. That is it for today's video, y'all. I hope you enjoyed decorating with me in the kitchen and the dining room. I enjoyed this video so much. I love putting out those little simple seasonal touches in my kitchen and dining room, especially because so many of these are special to me. So much of this was my grandmother's, and I just love getting to decorate it and use it. And I'm just so thankful you're here to share that along with me. I hope you all are having a good holiday season so far. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving, and I'm just so thankful that you are here. Be sure and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I do put out a new video every week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.